Welcome to On Point Live. I'm your host, Michael Horn, but the stars of our show are two Los Angeles Rams icons. We're talking about the quarterback that took them to Super Bowl 79, Mr. Vince Ferragamo, right over here. Vince, how you doing this week, huh?
Not bad, Michael. Just recovering from Super Bowl 59.
Yes, you are.
Then we got
You should be recovering, my friend.
moving along with my intro, the offensive lineman, better known as the Energizer Battery Bunny. Don't ever call him a tackle. He gets fighting mad about that. He is a Hall of Famer, four-time NFC offensive lineman, seven-time Pro Bowler. He won as Bowling for Dollars with Chick Hearn, also one time to Jackie Slater, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Michael.
Now, before we get to the show today, let's start with you, Jackie, because you have made a discovery before the show today. We have a little luncheon get-together. You have been talking all day about the greatest burrito you have ever had.
It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. I went there, and first of all, it was before lunchtime, and
Place was packed.
And the place was packed.
Yes.
And a lot of older guys who were sitting in there eating. I'm thinking, man, what?
I'll take a burrito.
So I go and I just order something simple like a dry beef burrito.
Dry.
Yeah, Vince ordered a wet.
What's the
Carnitas
difference?
burrito.
What's the difference between the wet and the
They
dry?
put the sauce over
Too
the
much
wet,
juice.
over the burrito.
Too much juice. I don't like too much juice on my steak burritos.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting
those
there
are burritos.
and I'm eating this, and I'm thinking, this is the best burrito I ever had in my life.
You have said that over and over again.
I mean,
You're shouting
it's
it to anybody
everything.
who walks
I mean,
in the door.
it had fresh avocado in it. It had warm beef chunks in
chunks
it.
of beef.
Cheese.
Carne asada.
Carne
It's like
asada.
steak.
Cheese.
Harmony cheese.
And then they gave you these sauces to pour right over it. Different flavors.
Look at him there in the camera and tell him it's the best burrito
It's
you've
the
ever
best.
had.
What was the name of the place? You remember?
Yeah, could you tell us the name of it?
Fuentes.
Las Fuentes.
Las
Fuentes.
Chatsworth, California.
It is the best burrito that I have ever.
And Las Fuentes, if you don't advertise on this podcast, you are missing out. Look at the
I'm telling you.
I've never heard
I'm
him hit
going
the
back over there.
Boy, he's hit the table
I'm
before.
going back over there whether they advertise or not. I'm going back over there. It was
The
good.
secret is the Harmony cheese on that burrito. All right, we got lots to talk about. We didn't get a chance to really recap the Super Bowl. We're going to do that. Talk about some trades, possible things coming up. Talk about maybe some hockey. We're thinking of having 4 different teams go against each other and keeping the fights out. We'll see how long that lasts. And we might even overhaul the Pro Bowl game. So stay with us here. It's On Point Live. Email us onpointlive@crntalk.com. onpoint@crntalk.com. Give us your email address. You might win yourself a prize pack. We'll be back. We're back on Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. All right, gentlemen, we had a lot to talk about last week. We had guests. We talked about the NFL Hall of Fame. A lot of good things that you cover here on this podcast and radio show On Point Live. By the way, check out the podcast on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Our website, onpointlive.net. And you can follow us on Instagram, on.point.live. Now, here's the thing. Send us your email address because we were brought to you by Harmony Cheese, some of the greatest cheese in the country. As a matter of fact, Jackie Slater's favorite cheese, am I right?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite?
Abergele.
Abergele. Vince, you like
smoked
the cheese
Gouda.
too.
Oh, yeah.
The smoked Gouda is grown on
But
me.
they're
as well.
really known for their cheddar. Even
Cheddar.
their Merlot
Absolutely,
cheddar.
It is really good.
I like that
great.
Merlot. They put the Merlot taste in there. Speaking of Merlot, you have a winery,
A wine.
Ferragamo Wines, right?
Ferragamo Vineyards. Yeah, we make that
And you
super
gotta
Tuscan.
get Carissa J.
This is a blend.
That is my favorite.
Sangiovese
That's the
Cabernet.
signature
It's
wine.
just a super Tuscan blend. We're going to put a bottle of that in with the Harmony Cheese prize pack and give it away to another winner here. We should announce some of our winners here because they've been escaping us. So here's how you win. You send us an email with your name and address so we can go ahead and get this out to you and your email address. And you send it to us at our email onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com, and that'll do it for you. Now, let's get into a little recap. First, for some of us that didn't, really pay attention to the game, what was the score?
Oh, God. The blowout.
Who won?
A blowout.
It was a blowout, right?
It was
40
a
to
blowout.
22, but it was worse than that score.
It was because there wasn't much scoring by the Kansas City Chiefs until the very end.
I mean, Jackie and I we looked at the game together, and I was in amazement, basically, because there was so much at stake for the Kansas City Chiefs to win 3 in a row, three consecutive, never been done in the history of the game, never will be done. And now looking back, what a missed opportunity for a lot of those guys and coaches, because never in their lifetime will they have another shot at that. And that's breaking history. What it could have been the best team. 8 other teams in the NFL history, Jackie, have gone back-to-back Super Bowl winners. I mean,
Nobody's
and
ever
now
gone through.
when you look back at the history of the game, probably the greatest of all time, Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they were phenomenal. The Green Bay Packers, the Dallas
No
Cowboys.
three-peats there.
No
The New
three-peats.
England
No
Patriots.
three-peats.
Miami Dolphins.
No three-peats.
No three-peats.
Here's the thing.
49ers.
You mentioned that, and most people, including Vince, you and I, picked Kansas City, thinking this is you're going to three-peat, and it was only one of us here. Was it you, Jackie?
Yeah,
Jackie
and
picked
I will
Philadelphia.
say-
So let me ask you this question, Jackie. If you're on the Philadelphia Eagles and you keep hearing this BS about three-peats and it's never been done and we're going to do it, are you, as a teammate of the Eagles, going to let that happen?
I'm going to be very, very focused. I'm going to be very determined. I'm going to know my job and do my job as well as at any other time that I've done it, because I do not want to be on the receiving end of a three-peat.
Especially when you
simple as
lost
that.
a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl, and
Absolutely.
you're the quarterback, and you saved the celebration, so you can look at it every day and say, "This has got to be us." I mean, that team was focused, but you got to have a good coaching staff.
Got to have a good coaching staff, and you know what? I shall not let this moment pass without looking at you and Vince, and just reminding you both that you had the unmitigated gall to say.
Wait, where did this come from?
You had the unmitigated gall to say that Kansas City was going to beat Philadelphia.
Oh, I changed
Both
my
of
mind.
you said that.
I changed my mind
Both
after the
of you
show.
know you did.
After
You
the
changed
show was
your
over,
mind.
Guru Corey, and I decided, do we want to pick Kansas City? Right, Corey? Am I right about that? We decided that maybe we should go to Philadelphia, didn't we? Yeah, you what?
I did. I don't know about you.
I don't remember.
What are you guys are all throwing me under the bus?
we
Corey's
all
got
got
the
misled.
unmitigated
Okay, we were a
gall,
little misled. We just thought that
Misled?
Kansas City had that secret sauce,
Yeah,
Jackie.
they had
could
the secret
pull out
sauce, all right.
whatever
6
they needed
sacks.
to do.
Come on, they had
I
Andy
don't know
Reid,
how many pressures.
Patrick
Unbelievable.
Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. They had them all on the team, ready to go.
Patrick
they couldn't
Mahomes
pull it
had
off.
never been sacked that many times. Had never been under that. He was like a chicken with his head cut off. You know, have you seen a chicken with his head cut off?
You are brutal today.
You tear the head off.
brutal.
He don't die. He just starts running around.
Speak
Well,
up for the
Jackie-
quarterbacks here, Vince.
Well,
Come
okay,
on.
Jackie's always
I
talking
was
about
the
the
only one that picked
physicality.
against.
Take it easy, Jeff.
The physicality of this game is really vital, as we saw in this game. But it was so frustrating and disappointing, and just really a bad game. to watch. And thinking that, Andy Reid and his staff could come up with the plays and the design and the scenarios. They didn't have enough alignment of different options to combat the strength of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Because they believe that PR
They didn't have to blitz once. They sacked him 6 times. I saw Patrick Mahomes in duress most of the game. You think that they would have had a plan, and when you have to protect the quarterback, which is the most important key for any offense, there's 3 things you do. You screen, you draw, and you run the football. That's what takes the lifeblood out of a pass rush, okay? They tried a quick screen, a bubble screen, the first play, the first series of the game got blown up. They tried to run the ball, no gain. They tried a drop back pass, got sacked. There was doing nothing. There was no personnel groupings. There was not 6-man line, 7-man line. If we can't run with 5, let's go with 6 or 7 big guys up there. Where's the alternate plan of attack? It was not there.
This is the thing that I love about my friend Vince Ferragamo, former quarterback, leader of a football team, took us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 79.
He's always looking at strategically what coulda, shoulda, have been done. Well, I mean, first of all, and Vince we had this conversation on the way up. Andy Reid, I told you guys, both of you, that I was hard pressed to pick against him.
Exactly.
Andy Reid is a very, very good coach.
Excellent coach.
But Vince was making some suggestions that only lent themselves to having success in certain situations. Like Vince was calling for 7 offensive linemen, 6 offensive linemen, and most of the time he used 6, 7 offensive linemen, it's in short yards and goal line situations. You don't dare do that in the middle of the field because now you're taking away one of the weapons. So he and I were in total disagreement right there that they put an extra blocker in there instead of chipping with Kelsey. The bottom line is this. They had the best 4 pass rushers on that day on Philadelphia's front.
Philadelphia.
All of them had sack. Their best defensive lineman didn't have a sack. He had several pressure, but he didn't have a sack. Not only that, but they did all of their damage to Patrick Mahomes, getting them all blown out of kilter and everything with 4 guys. The rest of the guys were deployed in coverage against Kelsey and the receivers. I mean, there was no way that they had a snowball's chance of winning that football game after I saw what they were doing.
They intimidated Patrick Mahomes, but when the ball was first snapped, Patrick was starting to fall over. I mean, just right there, he was ready for to get knocked down. He could not scramble, he could not move, he couldn't get out of his own way. They had the game, they had his head, they got him.
They had a mission, Mike.
23 yards, was it?
Yeah, they had 23 yards in the first half, 3 yards rushing in the first half.
In the first half.
It was perhaps Patrick's probably worst game he's ever played on the biggest stage. But the problem was that their game plan to dash, to get away from the pocket, to use the tight end to block, Kelsey got blown up. The guy ran right by him like he was standing still. They had a plan, but the plan wasn't effective. Okay, on the dash play, the receiver didn't get open. It was intercepted for a touchdown. Never happened before. He was intercepted twice in that game. A lot of it had to do with the way the defensive Vic Fangio's what he designed on defense. I mean, it was very effective, and the preparation was there. Like Jackie said, there was more incentive. There was more at stake, more motivation from the Philadelphia Eagles I saw in this game than I saw from the Kansas City Chiefs.
They were prepared, and you got to give credit here to Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback. I mean, he threw for 200+ yards, rushed for 70+ yards, threw multiple touchdowns, rushed for a touchdown, completed 75% of his passes, averaged 10+ yards per pass attempt, and he won the game.
10 yards per pass attempt.
Think about that.
Thank you for these stats.
My gosh, if he throws 20 times, that's 200 yards. Every time he tries to throw the ball, they get a first down. It was unbelievable, Jack. Jalen Hurts. They stopped Saquon Barkley. They could not stop Jalen Hurts. Yeah. That's why they won the game.
This was the plan. The plan was to not let Saquon Barkley beat them. They were going to roll the dice.
They forgot about Jalen Hurts.
They rolled the dice with this guy, and they gambled, and it came up short.
All right, let's take a break, get a breath of fresh air here, because otherwise Jackie's going to keep talking about the Eagles.
Oh, my goodness.
Eagles that. What are your thoughts? Email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. Give it to Jackie, give it to Vince, give it to me, onpoint@crntalk.com. And don't forget, send us your email and your address so you can win a Harmony cheese package along with some Vince Ferragamo online. Go to OnPoint at crntalk.com. OnPoint Live. We'll be back right after this. We're back on Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. Rams a dream team here, right on talking to you every week at this time, and we're sort of recapping. Well, we are not sort of. We are recapping the Super Bowl because we get time to really hit some of this stuff, and we should add a few seconds here, a couple of minutes about the coaching staff of the Eagles. Nick Sirianni did a great job getting his team set to go up against the Kansas City.
The marvelous job that he did, and you saw the excitement that he alluded on the field when they had the chance, and I guess it was, I don't know, just an impression that you got from Saquon Barkley and everybody when they finally realized they won the game. This is like everything coming into reality. All of our hard work put together. Vic Fangio did a marvelous job.
He did. He really
Kellen
did.
Moore on offense. I mean, the two acquisitions that they had. And I think, Jackie, so much of this has to go back to Howie Roseman and what he's done in his scouting department and how he brings his team together. Do you know, we were looking at these lists, that 90% of his first and second round picks have become starters in the league.
Unbelievable.
That's like second highest in the NFL.
And I mean, you look at Howie.
That's how good they are.
When you look at Howie, you don't see a guy that you say, well, he's very familiar with the game. You can just look at him and tell he played the game.
Yeah.
What is the guy? Looks like he weighs about 150 pounds or something like that. But what he has a unique eye for is talent. And more specifically, Vince, is talent, disruptive talent that plays certain positions. Like he'd bring in a defensive lineman that can rush the passer and can two-gap a big guard and hold his position at the line of scrimmage. He'd bring in edge rushers that can beat all kinds of talent. I mean, if you look at the personnel that this guy has acquired, they are unique, special, and they don't want to leave. They don't want him to leave Philadelphia. They want to keep him as long as they possibly can, as long as the cap allows them to do that.
Yeah, he let Hargrave go to the 49ers, and he filled that spot immediately with his first round pick.
He certainly did.
From Georgia. So, I mean, that was a force there. So he understands. He brought in Sweat defense. He brought in a linebacker who became all-pro this year.
Sweat had 2.5 sacks.
Yeah, in this game, in the Super Bowl game. Then DeJean, how about DeJean, who did a great job as a rookie? I was a little suspect because of the youth of their team. They had 2 first round picks or high draft picks starting on defense for the Eagles, and I thought that might be a mistake. These guys showed up.
Yeah.
DeJean had a pick 6 in this game.
He certainly did. He was in the right spot at the right time. He didn't overplay it. He stayed right there at the hash fence, and that ball came right straight to him. It was like it was like the quarterback didn't even see him.
Yeah, it was a marvelous game plan on defense.
You guys played football a lot with the Rams. You had coaching changes. How much of a difference does it make from season 1 where you lose your coach and all of a sudden a new coach is there, maybe some new setups, learning new plays, learning in football? It's very important that you know what's going on, and I think that's a tough thing to go ahead and come in there, lose coordinators, and have to replace them and come up with a game plan.
The secret sauce of this thing, Mike, I think, is when the coordinator or coach comes in, he knows his personnel, he knows the limitations, he knows the strengths of his team, and he develops a system that puts you in the best position to be successful.
Absolutely.
And so those are the great coaches. And what we saw, the replacements for, as you said, the 2 prior coaches, John Gannon and
Steichen.
and Shane Steichen, the replacements they didn't fit. They didn't fit it.
That first year,
But this year, when Vic Fangio came in and when Kellen Moore, they made the best. They made the best offense and best defense based on what they had as personnel, and they knew exactly what to do. And I give them loads of credit because this is a team that was started out 2-2 and they win the Super Bowl. So
what difference does it make, or how much of a difference does it make when you score first in a big game like the Super Bowl, and then a second time, and all of a sudden you got a little momentum going, and the other team's got to start to scramble a little bit to come back? That's a big thing too, to go ahead and start the attack first.
It is. Yeah. It really is, and it for the guys that need to be on the field consistently to be successful, like an offensive line. What you do not want to have happen is for your offensive line to be sitting on the bench for an extended period of times, because you got to get up and you got to get loose all over again. Even though you warmed up before the game, you got to start that process all over, and you got to go out there and deal with a guy, particularly on rundowns, who's fresh and is playing his best football when he's fresh. So the longer you stay on the field as an offense, particularly an offensive line, then the better you are. Now, one of the things that I noticed in this game was that, and everybody will say, hey, well, they shut down Saquon Barkley. Yeah, they shut down Saquon Barkley, but they didn't stop running the football. No. They kept inserting them into the line of scrimmage behind these big, gigantic offensive linemen. And what did that do? It taxed their secondary. It made them have to come up and get physical with them. And I saw them run over a couple of guys, on a 5 and 6 yard gain here and there. But what happened is those guys, they don't want to do that. What they want to do is cover. And then when the situation came up for them to have to cover, boom. He made the plays with his arm, big passes down the middle. Both his receivers had big touchdown passes. And Jalen, when he looked and saw that they were getting back in coverage, then he took off. Yeah. He had the record from a couple of years ago of 70 yards rushing by a quarterback. That was the record for Super Bowls. He broke that record with 72 yards, in addition to all the passing and everything else he did.
And I know quarterbacking a little bit, I think. But
I think you know it a lot there.
Yeah, he's the complete quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie, because he could take the tush-push on a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and his strength in his legs, he can power. Now, he does get the push from behind, but he can make the first down. He's smart. He's got a great humility attitude about himself. He's a good leader. He's calm in situations that people respond to.
Unbelievably calm.
Very, very clever and smart, and knows how to attack. If this is not there, okay, I'm going to sit back, and he'll sit back in the pocket, and he'll find his open receiver. If that's not open, he'll take it and he'll move. He's not flashy, but he's effective, and he's a good quarterback, and he's a winner.
So both of you, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater, how do you keep that now in the new season coming up next year? Because we saw it with Kansas City. We believed they were going to three-peat. We thought they had, and they had an incredible coach and coaching staff and quarterback and everything. But Philadelphia was ready for them. They knew they were going to be targeting on Saquon Barkley's run, so they had some other plays ready to go. Now we see what Philadelphia is all about. How do they keep things fresh so they can keep mixing it up and winning?
Well, in my opinion, it starts with that offensive line. Now, everybody's going to say, well, Jackie's always talking about the offensive line because that's what he plays. Hey, man, but this guy's averaged 348 pounds on an average all the way across the front. They're all young guys. I think Lane Johnson, the right tackle, is the oldest guy. They're all young guys, and they all take a lot of pride in using their massive bodies to get into those pass rushes and push them off the line of scrimmage. To me, this is the heartbeat of any good football team. You put Jalen Hurts back there, Saquon Barkley back there, those wide receivers that they have out there. Now you've got a dynamic a team that can replenish themselves and keep winning football games year after year after year. I'm going to be looking to see just how long how he's going to keep this group together, and I want to see just how many Super Bowls they're going to be contending in for the next 5 years or so.
The formula for success is the foundation, as Jackie's mentioned, and it's true for any team, is the offense and defensive line. That's your foundation. When you're building a property, you want to have a solid foundation when you start to build, so that way it'll last. It'll keep going. So in football, it's the same way. And I think that what they're going to look is add to some of this, but they've got A.J. Brown. They got their playmakers. They have Devontae Smith, who made great plays. Okay, they have a tight end. They've got the running back now. They believe in it. So now I just see them continue this same system, keep moving it forward, and stay with the same confident feeling that you got. You're the best in football right now. You're the best defense last year. We said, hey, how do you stop this team? Well, you got to try to stop Saquon Barkley, and they did, but they didn't have an answer for Jalen Hurts.
One other thing, and I don't want to minimize and have this minimized in any way. There is something very, very unique when you have a football team that will look to its management, the people that are acquiring talent, getting rid of talent, and look at that person knowing they're going to do the right thing.
All right.
This is what they have in Howie Roseman right now. All of the players of Philadelphia.
He signs the top picks there at rounds 1 and 2, and they stay with the team. Let's look ahead now. Let's look to the losing team here, Kansas City. What do they do? All of a sudden, you've been on Ram teams where they dismantle somebody and come back and with a whole new team the next year. Do you do that, or do you keep your guys going? Here's Travis Kelce saying, I don't know if I'm going to come back or not. I think he should keep that to himself and let the team kind of figure out what's going on. What are your guys' thoughts as players?
Well, the Chiefs are a wonderful franchise. I mean, it stops from top and it works all the way down, and they've got everything lined up. They need more personnel, and they were able to win a lot of games this year by 1 score or less. Okay, that was a result of their experience, their playmakers. Okay, but they have to add to this game. They got to get another receiver. They got to get some offensive linemen.
Especially a left tackle.
Yeah, they've got to improve. They have some improvement to do. They have what it takes, but in order to move again back into that position, because the AFC West is getting tough. Denver's there. Yeah. I mean, the Chargers getting better. Yep. I mean, they have the Raiders are going to improve. So if they don't improve, they can find themselves in the cellar. So how things can change in 1 year, but I don't see that happening for the Chiefs. I think they're going to come back.
And my friend Jackie, you would say that's good management to make that happen, right? Get that.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, the management of this organization in Kansas City has been consistent. Otherwise, we would not see them have as many victories as they have with the same quarterback. They've been very successful for a reason.
Brought to you by Harmony Cheese. Go to their website, harmonycheese.com. That's harmonycheese.com. Check out all the great cheese products they have. Lots of things coming up. We had Valentine's Day. We're moving ahead and going to St. Patrick's Day. That's some special green cheese for you. I don't know. It's probably probably going to be there. And we have wine from Vince Ferragamo. Win some of these fine things. Go to our website. Email us. Send us your email address and your name and address to onpoint@crntalk.com. onpoint@crntalk.com. It's On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Be right back. Welcome back. On Point Live, brought to you by Harmony Cheese. Go to their website, harmonycheese.com. It is delicious. It's wonderful. It's from the breadbasket of our country. Great Wisconsin cheese. You know, California fights Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the winner all the time on the best cheese. The man who knows that, the star of our show, along with Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Jackie?
Absolutely.
You've had a lot of cheese in your life, haven't you?
I've had a lot of cheese in my life. I've eaten a lot of different flavors.
You've been known as the big cheese, I understand.
I've been called the big cheese on more than one occasion. But this is clearly it's in a class by itself.
And he knows how to say Abergele. That's his favorite cheese.
Abergele is my favorite.
Are you running low on your
I
supply?
like the smoked Gouda. It's
more?
about time. It's about time.
He ran out of the Abergele, everybody, so he's onto the smoked Gouda right now.
Onto the smoked Gouda.
Vince now is into cheddar, and I kind of like the Merlot blend. There's swirls of Merlot in it. Vince, of course, winemaker. You've got the Ferragamo wines, right?
Oh, sure, Mike.
And you've got that Caressa J, which is
we're just getting ready to blend our 2022.
Come on.
So, yeah, it's been in barrel.
Can we come and taste? Would you like to? I'd like to go to this place and taste.
I'm going to taste it anyway. Whenever it comes out, Vince is going to say, "Hey, Jackie, you got to try this," and I'm going to try it.
Sometimes
pieces of cheese and then taste it with the wine. Also,
no, we don't usually do that when we drink the
I
wine
do.
because it would be great, but because wine and cheese are a great pairing, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
But I think that
and you can get some fig preserves to go along with that too.
You can do a lot of different
Look
things.
at this
Honey,
guy. It's a regular
crackers.
charcuterie board.
Why do you think?
Man, it's a
Why do you think I
charcuterie
haven't
board.
lost
How about
much
some
weight?
prosciutto? How about some prosciutto?
Oh, yeah,
that
some
would be good
prosciutto,
too.
yeah.
Thrown in the Italian
Get
blend.
your charcuterie board
Yeah,
together.
we get it going.
So I'm telling you, you're going to miss out if you don't get some Harmony cheese. Check their website out, harmonycheese.com. And by the way, the draft is coming up in Green Bay. These guys may be going there to check it all out, along with yours truly. So we will keep you posted on that. In the meantime, order up some cheese, see what it's all about. And our producer, Corey Marino, is going to be selecting a winning name this week. And we've been doing this each and every week, telling you to go ahead and send in your name. Email us at onpoint@crntalk.com. onpoint@crntalk.com. We'll select that name. We'll have it announced next week on the show, and you have won yourself a Harmony cheese pack
And a 2020 Super Tuscan.
Yeah, you like that
So
2020.
I really do, because of that little Merlot blend that we did. We used 15 gallons to blend, Jackie, just to give it a little bit of more of a authentic, real solid base to it. So it was really good, and we really like it. I think it goes great with food, especially the cheeses.
Yeah, so good stuff. Now let's move from football, if we can, to another contact sport, hockey. And there was this great playoff game, this Four Nations playoff. We had the great team of the United States, the great team of Canada, the great team of Finland, the great team of Sweden. Now, we in the United States have not offered to buy either Sweden or Finland, but I believe an offer was on the table for us to purchase Canada. I don't know how that works because politics is beyond us here on OnPoint Live, but I mean, who wouldn't want to go across the border there and, say hi to our friends in the Canucks and everything and say it's a boot time? So the game starts, and before they even start to really do a face-off, all of a sudden the U.S. and Canada go berserk, and I think a couple of brothers were involved in this.
Matthew and Brady both. Okay, Kachuk brothers.
The Kachuk boys
went right
Easy
after.
to remember. Kachuk.
I mean, it wasn't within 3 seconds of the game, Jackie.
Dropped the puck?
No, it just dropped, boom, and they took their gloves off and they went after it. And it was,
animosity
it was an
built up there.
attempt. It was an attempt to set the stage right now. Hey, we mean business. We're going to go out there and win this game, and we're not going to. If you're timid, you're not going to play this game. So, and it was a great game. It was fun to watch.
They were beating each other up.
They beat Canada. Okay, first time in a long time.
First they beat each other up, then the United States beat Canada.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then they played again, and they'll play again for the championship here in a couple days. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Now we go behind the scenes a little bit on this, and Jackie Slater brought this to me before the show, and he mentioned before they dropped the puck, apparently they did not drop the puck. It was a package of Harmony cheese. And the Canadians in the United States went nuts for it. Am I right?
They did.
It was, if you look carefully at the
They
video,
were yelling,
they were passing it.
USA. I love it. I mean, how come you don't need any more motivation than that?
No.
Okay.
Plus, they booed
play
the
well.
national anthem, I believe, the people in the crowd.
They're fans. They do what they
appreciate
want.
that.
But
care for that.
that could save their All-Star game, because you guys have been talking about making changes to the Pro Bowl. You
Oh, my
guys,
goodness.
Yeah.
oh boy, it's a sore point.
It's
with
just
Jackie.
not the same
Jackie
game as when
takes it
Jackie
to heart.
played in it. It's just
Vince, help
it's
him
a
out a
whole-
little bit here.
It's a whole lot different. Jackie, I have my own opinion.
I know
okay,
you do.
know what you should. You were always one to go out and compete. Didn't matter. We all did that. But today's game, I think the money factors entered into this thing.
You
and
think?
it's
without
gosh.
doubt. Without
I mean,
doubt.
what do they make today compared to what they made years ago? But I think, why do they make so much money? It's you, the spectators. It's the fans that go watch the game. If you don't watch the game on TV, they wouldn't have these TV contracts with the revenue they have to pay $50 million, okay? So I think the Pro Bowl should make an effort to go face-to-face and make a fan fest with the fans. Go out and make a personal appearance, sign autographs, because when you get a chance to get with your heroes and guys that you really like watching play, you never get to meet them personally. Go out, get around them, have a chance for the fans to come and meet them, take a picture, sign autographs, play a little pickup basketball game, do something. It'd be kind of fun, and I think that's what we owe the fans at this point.
The problem that I see, Vince, with what you're saying is, a lot of players go to these games, at least when we did. We went to these games with our families, and we had sessions where we met with the fans and signed autographs and were around them. Security was really, really heavy on those days. The rest of the times, security wasn't that heavy because we were practicing football. We were installing new plays, new defenses and everything, getting ready to compete. Also, there was a brand new shiny truck sitting there that the MVP of the game was possibly going to earn, playing at a certain level. I don't think that our game of football can be played with throwing softballs around and jumping into bean bags and pulling ropes and all of this stuff. That has nothing to do with the game of football that the fans appreciate. They want to see the game being played. Now, I understand fully why we don't see a real football game at the Pro Bowl, which is what I believe the fans want to see. We don't see that because the salaries are so high, and the players go there and they do like they did 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they just look like they're waltzing. They're just dancing. The defense, Howie Long, Mark Gastineau, those guys were trying to get a couple of sacks so they get the MVP award and leave their driving that truck. Nobody wants to
bring that back.
If you're making $25 million a year, why bust your hump to try to win a truck or anything else?
And
that is not football. That is not football.
Bring back a regular game. I'm sorry. I know you could get injured in it, but that's what we want to see as a football game.
That's right.
That's what we want to see in baseball. We want to see somebody slide into home plate.
You won't get it, Mike. You're not going to get it because
Why?
it's at the end of the season. There's no incentive
Not if
there.
there's a
I
truck
think,
in it.
I think that it doesn't matter. They can
Cadillac?
go buy 20. Quarterbacks buy trucks for their offensive linemen. I mean,
Like
it's
it's
like,
like
well, they need one more
Maybach?
truck.
Maybe get a
Here,
Maybach for these
just why don't they go and like coach, get the young kids and play basketball with them, or if they want to show football, why don't they go on the field? So, okay, this is how you throw the ball, this is how you catch the ball. This interaction, and they can also do fundraising at this level.
I don't think that's going to ever
It makes
work.
more sense to me.
There's another thing about the Pro Bowl too that I don't want to overlook, and this was very prevalent during the times that I played over the couple of decades I played. I might not get to play against Howie Long that season. We might not play the AFC West. I might not play Mark Gastineau that season. We don't play the AFC East. And then all of a sudden, I walk up to the line of scrimmage in a Pro Bowl, and there he is.
There he is.
I can look in his face and look in his eyes and tell he's thinking, okay, now I finally get to work against Big Jackie.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, now I got to keep this dude out. And that's what the fans want to see, man. Football is a competitive game, Vince. And I don't think you pussyfoot around with it. I don't like it. I know why they're doing it, but I don't like it
What
at all.
do you think? Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Let's get your opinions in. We've got some down. Corey, we're going to hold these for next week, has some opinions about changing the game.
So I say Fan Fest. Jackie says real live
I say
game.
real live
Let's
game.
see what the fans say.
You got to remember, I left the Pro Bowl with my wrist broken one time.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the guy got hurt.
get the truck?
He got critically hurt playing, jumping up in the sand.
Absolutely.
Coming down for a football.
Playing catch.
Did you get the truck?
No, never gave
Never
it.
hit the truck.
No
Broken
offensive
wrist.
lineman.
No
No
offensive
offensive lineman has ever won the MVP award at a Pro Bowl.
Just a pat on the back.
First time.
Nice
That's
job.
good. Now, let's take a look here. We got to leave a little bit of time left in the show.
Yeah.
This show has been going because there's so much we talked about wanting to include here. What about these rumors of the Rams? Matthew Stafford's wife, Kelly, has got a podcast. She's spouting stuff about the Rams. Are they going to sign Matthew Stafford? Is Cooper Kupp gone? What are your thoughts? Starting here with Mr. Quarterback Vince Ferragamo.
Well, first of all,
Matthew
I think
Stafford.
we all agree that Matthew Stafford should remain with the Rams. I mean, he's their best chance for them to be successful. Okay, he wants to renegotiate his contract. Well, the Rams have already caved in with Aaron Donald, so they're really known to do that. So I don't blame him for trying to go get more money. He's already the second highest paid lifetime quarterback in the NFL. So I don't think money has got to be. I mean, if you want to play a couple more years, you want to play to go back to the Super Bowl. And they have to keep their team pretty much intact. But if they're going to start trading guys like Cooper Kupp off, they're building their offense, if they let one of these offensive linemen that have come up and shown they really deserve to be in the NFL and they let them go to another team, then maybe you say, hey, this is not my team.
Jackie,
I mean, I gotta build a team to win football games.
Jackie Slater?
When I look at Howie Roseman and the work that he has done in Philadelphia, I am just amazed that that kind of consistency, that kind of just awareness of what your team needs, it really exists. Mm-hmm. And for a good long time, I think I'm seeing that with the Rams. But what I don't understand and what I do have a problem with is you take a guy who was the first overall pick in the draft, who's now paying big-time dividends, and I don't know how many years younger than Matthew Stafford, and you traded him away so you can get Matthew Stafford. And did Matthew Stafford pay off for you?
Yes,
absolutely. Absolutely. And is he still paying off?
Yes.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, Matthew Stafford should be compensated whatever it is that he wants. Because there are very few quarterbacks, and I watched them, there are very few quarterbacks in the National Football League right now that can throw the ball, lead a football team, is on the same page with his coach like Matthew Stafford.
And my apologies.
I feel like if you get rid of Matthew Stafford, you forfeit as much opportunity to repeat some of the success you've had.
My apologies to Detroit, but has Jared Goff won a, as Jackie would say, Super Bowl? Absolutely not.
No, he hasn't.
He's
Been to one, but there's a difference.
one.
There's a difference between being there and
winning.
winning it.
That's
There's no
very
doubt
true.
about it.
So,
I think that's one of the reasons why they went for Matt Stafford in the beginning. But all the things that he can do, I think his biggest asset is his toughness, because he's played through pain. He's played through injury before. He's been on a tough
takes a
team that
licking,
has, and he keeps ticking.
on ticking.
And he handles his lovely wife with that podcast of hers, Kelly. She's been making.
We don't listen to her.
We didn't even talk about Cooper.
Whatever she's doing.
I think there could be a problem with the ownership. Stan Kroenke maybe have bought the wrong team. He's got the Hilt, Janata Wine, and Screaming Eagle. Shouldn't he have bought the Eagles? You know, he bought the Rams. We got a problem there.
Well,
Maybe he wants to buy
Stan
another team.
Kroenke basically bought the team that he wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
And listen,
thank you, Stan.
If he ever wanted something else, probably would have bought that too. I think he's an excellent leader from the top down. He lets people do their job.
15 seconds.
Unfortunately,
finish your point.
everybody's not doing their job.
No, I agree. I agree completely. I think the Rams are the place that you want to be, and it's the franchise in Los Angeles. And let's see if we got to get back to the Super Bowl. Got to start by keeping the quarterback.
What about Cooper Kupp? We'll finish it off in the next segment here.
my goodness.
On Point Live. Check us out at our website, onpointlive.net. We'll be back. Go and email us at onpoint@crntalk.com. onpoint@crntalk.com. We want to hear from you. Back for our final segment. I'm Michael Horn with Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. The show is On Point Live. 2 minutes. On Point, you each get 1 minute. Cooper Kupp, should he leave the Rams? Should he stay? Should he go? What's the deal? Jackie Slater.
Well, first of all, I think the mere fact that Cooper Kupp has come out and said that the Rams had told him that they intend to trade him says that their plans are to go on forward without Cooper Kupp. Do I agree with that personally? No, I don't. I happen to believe that Cooper Kupp is one of the best football players that we have seen in the National Football League over a number of years now, and I don't want him going someplace else. That's me.
All right, that's Jackie Slater, 41 seconds. Back now to Vince Ferragamo.
Well, the Rams have made an effort to put him out on the trading block, and they've talked to teams like Pittsburgh who give a third-round draft pick. They've talked to Denver Broncos who would give a fourth-round pick. The Commanders, another fourth-round pick. You know, this guy is better than a third or fourth-round pick. He's as good as any first-round pick. So I don't know why they want to trade him. Maybe it's because his durability hasn't played in as many games as he should in the past couple of years, but he still is one of the prominent receivers in the NFL. And to lose a guy like that, to lose that connection between Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp is a mistake. But, you know, I don't know what plan they would have to replace him, because if you lose a player like that, who are you going to get to replace him? There's not one player out there.
And it's the player. I'm telling you got to look at the player. Sometimes they throw money at some guys that are out dancing around every night or whatever. This guy is all football. Like
all
Freddie
football.
Freeman is the Dodgers, Mookie Betts.
Absolutely.
You pay those guys money because they are franchise players.
Absolutely.
Is Cooper Kupp a franchise player?
In my opinion, yes.
And he's always focused. He's always focused, and he comes to play every time he steps on the field, Michael. So
So
that's
pay
the
the
kind
money.
of guy I
Listen,
want on my team.
Vince and I went to training camp a year ago, and we were watching him in training camp.
that's awesome.
And he never lost a second of focus as to what was going on.
Never.
He was either coaching and
Bring it
talking to
me.
someone.
Come on.
Intuitive.
Come on.
Intuitive.
It was,
Always
am I
on
right,
it.
Vince?
Yes.
You
I
were
mean,
right. Come on,
absolutely.
Jackie. Finish it off.
He was absolutely focused,
Vince,
man.
he's gonna
the
be
kind
there.
of guys
Almost out
you
of
want on your
time.
team.
He's got to catch a couple more touchdowns.
All right,
That's
we're
it.
almost out of time. HarmonyCheese.com. Don't forget to go to that website. Get your email into us. Give us your name and address to win a Harmony Cheese pack and some Vince Ferragamo wine. On Point. OnPoint at crntalk.com, OnPoint at crntalk.com. Website OnPoint Live, YouTube channel OnPoint Live with Vince and Jackie. Subscribe to it. We'll see you next week. Don't forget we're on Saturdays and Sundays on Sports Byline, CRN Talk. See you then. Michael Horn, Vince Ferragamo with Jackie Slater. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Made computer labs out of the area. And when I protested to the principal about this, he said their hands were tied because the insurance rates